Montreal's been doing down the stretch here?
Yeah, obviously they're playing well. They got lots of skill. Um, they're good off the rush, good special teams. So, they always play us hard. It's always a good game, and tomorrow night will be no different.
So we don't know what's going on with OEL, but if you guys have to start a game with 5D, how challenging would that be?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on either. So we'll deal with that tomorrow.
What do you like about what you saw on Wednesday in Tampa?
Yeah, I thought it was a good bounce back. Obviously, Tampa's a very good team, lots of skill there, and thought we played hard. Back-to-back games is challenging, but I thought we did a good job in preparing and competing, and obviously a good result for us.
What led to so many shot blocks for you?
I think just circumstantial. This happens. It's not anything special. It's just the way the game goes.
What does it say about the team that you guys had 33 as a group in that one?
Yeah, I think it's an area of focus, obviously, especially when the other team is as highly skilled offensively as Tampa Bay, and Montreal will be no different. You got to focus on the defensive details, and I thought as a group we did a good job of that.
Mitch is closing in on a pretty special milestone. I know he's downplaying it, but what would it mean to the group to kind of see him get to the Century Club there?
Yeah, I think whenever you have a chance as a team to have a player accomplish something like that, it's I don't want to say it's important, but it's nice. You want to help him out, and he's obviously going to put the team first, and he's just going to play his game, and if it happens, it happens. But as his teammates, we want him to get it done, and we're going to focus on the games and the points here that are at stake, and the rest will take care of itself. But obviously, you're rooting for him, and you want to see him get it done.
Who do you got in the Masters pool?
Corey Connors is my only guy in contention. Yeah.
So you're liking what you're seeing so far?
So far, so good. Yeah.
Morgan, in years past, there have been times where it's been pretty clear who you guys are going to play in the first round at this point. This year, obviously not the case.
Yeah.
How does that affect the approach, the mindset at this time of year when you're still unclear?
I don't think it changes anything. I think we're preparing to play our best hockey this season, and our opponent, obviously we don't know who that is yet, where, to your point, in years past there's been examples where we knew what was coming. That's the only difference. The preparation is no different. The practices, the game habits, all that stuff is the same. We're preparing to play our best hockey, no matter who our opponent is in the first round.
What can you say about Matthew in the game as of late, especially in the last game against Tampa?
Yeah, he's been great. Obviously with the Tampa Bay game, it jumps out a little more because he scored a couple goals, but I think ultimately he's been playing a great game for a while now. And there's games where you don't score and you play well, and no one talks about it. And I think with him, he's just been doing a good job of being consistent and trying to find his place on that line. And they've all been doing well, but obviously a young guy like him performing the way he is has been outstanding for our group.
Pass to you in OT to speak to his confidence, you think, doing what he did there?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good pass.
Yeah.
Pretty good spot right now. We've been making some good improvement. Getting back out there with the guys, it's been good. And slowly working our way towards playing again here.
Okay, what are the odds we see at least be available for the playoffs? What do you think?
That's a tough one to kind of say anything really. It's been trending really good in the gym, out on the ice, off ice, everything. So hopefully we get there. We'll see.
What's the season been like for you? You had the 2 games. It's got to be mentally trying. Like, how would you describe what it's been like waiting and working?
Yeah, it's been up and down. Has its lows, has the good parts to it too. I guess you just gotta enjoy the little victories every day. Something feels really good, you can improve on something, and really take a lot of joy in that. And like I've been telling everybody here too, it's a nice place to come to every morning, even though you're not there where you wanted to be, but. Coming in here, there's some great people around you can work with every single day. You get here, get a nice cup of coffee, have a good laugh, so there's a lot of worse things you can do in life, but obviously it's been trying, but just trying to keep that positive mindset and cheer the boys on as much as I can when they've been here, and just enjoy the ride, I guess, even though it might sound a little weird, but just do the work and enjoy everything else that comes with, still being able to play hockey and get out there and have a good time with your teammates.
Are there still hurdles, Jani, that you're looking to get past, or are you at the point now where you're stringing together good day after good day after good day?
It's a little bit of both. There's a few things still there that I would like to be a little better filling on the ice, and other than that, just stringing good days together. adding a little more load every day, adding a little more here and there, and then, trying to string those good days and make them good weeks into good months. So that's the plan.
We don't know what's going on with McMann Larson, but there's a chance maybe the team might have to start tomorrow's game with just 5D. Been around the league a long time. How challenging would that be for a group of defensemen?
It's different. It's always, you get used to playing with 6 for so long, and then if you end up having 5. But I think everyone here has been in a spot where you lose a guy early in the game and you end up playing with 5 for big long stretches of time. So I don't think it's anything any of them haven't seen. But obviously, I guess it's a little strange going into the game, but I think they've all been there before. So I think they're going to handle it good.
For you watching this team, what stands out about the way they're playing down the stretch?
I think just a commitment to the team game, really, just how hard the guys battle and work out there. I think that's really been good to see. A good defense, obviously, and then, as a D-man, you always love when your goalies are playing really good. So that always gives you a big boost, even though you're not on the ice. So I think those are the things that's been really sticking out for me.
Mitch Marner is pretty close to 100 points, and yet he plays so hard on the defensive side. What have you learned about him being around him this year?
Well, I think with him and a lot of the other guys too, they're good when you play against them, and then you see them every day, and you're like, okay, they're even better than you thought they would be. And then you look at them closely, you look at the games and playing the right way all the time and still putting out that amount of points. It's really spectacular. Like it's really it's an honor just to watch them every day, and I don't know, trying to learn maybe something. Thus we're a little different players, but maybe you can learn a little something from that too. So no, it's been great to watch.
Can you give us your perspective on what led up to that fight on Wednesday?
Yeah, it's just a battle. Things got heated, I guess, out of the battle. And then just a little bit of pushing, and then, he dropped him and just kind of went at it there.
Are you guys happy with the level of physicality you're showing this year and the ability to stand up for yourselves and each other?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a collective effort from everybody to try and be involved in every situation and make sure guys are engaged and sticking up for each other and making sure we're sticking together as a unit. It's the biggest thing.
Point doesn't often fight. Were you surprised that it ended up in that way?
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting him to just drop him like that. And then once he did, obviously, I was ready for it, and then the refs came in. But that's just the heat of the game, I guess.
Were you surprised you got an extra 2 out of it?
Yeah, a little bit, because I think it started with I got cross-check, leaving the scrum there a little bit, and then I turned around. I think that's kind of why it all started there. So I guess the refs maybe saw something differently, but yeah, it's a different perspective from my end.
How special are these Montreal games now?
Yeah, they're big. They're a hot team right now. They're playing really well. They play really fast. They got a lot of skill, and so it'll be a good test for us to make sure our details are right for playoffs.
What are they doing well that you've been able to pick up down the stretch here to go on this hot run?
Yeah, I think just kind of hearing and seeing clips here and there. I haven't really watched their games a whole lot, but they play fast, and I think it's any time we play them and they're playing well. It's they're playing fast. They're really good on the forecheck. They can chip pucks in and get behind you and then make plays off the rush. So it's just they're so fast through the middle of the ice that we got to make sure we're picking guys up and in front of them.
Would you rather know that or your opponent is right now, or you kind of like the shell game idea that you'd still play any one of those 4 teams in the future?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's good to prepare as if you're playing anybody, because then your details and your game has to be as good as it possibly can be. You don't want to tailor it any which way, maybe until you have to, until playoffs come down the line, because you want to round out your game as best you can.
Get any interesting feedback from family, on the Shiner when you have a fight?
Yeah, nothing really. Just throw a bunch of ice on it. Looks a lot worse than maybe it is. It doesn't really hurt much, but yeah, I think it just kind of leaked into the eye there.
Yeah, I'm just curious, would your parents be concerned if they see you?
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to FaceTime my mom. Make sure I let her know I'm okay. Yeah.
How different is the dynamic for you when you're with Max and Nick there versus when you're up with John and William? It's just different, reading different players. So it's just reading different situations when guys, I think, are familiar with both combinations. So it's just being familiar with when those guys need help and when they need support and when guys can make plays. And all those guys can make plays in tight areas and in the offensive zone and things like that. So just situationally reading off of things, and just like it's not a whole lot different from my game.
Marner's pretty close to 100 points here. He's downplaying it. I know talking to some guys there, they want it for him, that they kind of rally around that. Like, what would it mean for the group to see that?
Yeah, it'd be great. I think he's been close a couple times, and I'm sure he's gonna get there. He's gonna get there probably multiple times in his career. So yeah, it'd definitely be cool to get the first one here out of the way.
These games, these Montreal games, mean the rivalry and the history. How do
Yeah,
you feel
no, they're
about
big games for sure. It's been a rivalry for a long time, and like I said, they're always pretty exciting games, big games.
What have you thought about the turnaround that the Canadians had this season to be in the spot they're in right now?
Well, I think they got, their young players are growing, and I think their core of their team is growing together, the young guys, and they've had pretty solid goaltending here down the stretch, which always helps. They're a good team. They got a lot of fast players and skilled guys. Like, solid team.
What's Ekman Larson's status for tomorrow?
For tomorrow?
Yeah.
He's out. Yep. Yeah, maybe I'll suit up and play back there. I wasn't sure about it. But yeah, 5D.
How
5D.
How challenging is that going to be?
Well, it's always challenging, but we played games where we've lost a D early in a game and you play with 5. I mean, it's important that our forwards do a good job of helping our D out tomorrow night and making sure that they get back quick for breakouts and things like that, make the game as easy on them as much as possible. I think that's a big thing. And not getting extended shifts in the D zone and tiring your defense out. So that'll be a big part of the game tomorrow.
What is the status of O'Neill, Craig? Is it
Day to day.
Did it happen on that play in overtime?
He'll be evaluated. You never know. I mean, he's a tough guy, but he won't be playing tomorrow.
Are you expecting McCabe back before the end of the regular season?
Yeah, I am.
But not
Not tomorrow.
Are you expecting Pacioretty and Hakanpaa to be available in the playoffs?
That I don't know. I don't have that answer for you. They're still working their way through things. So that's all I know on that.
With the team's physicality, more than just dropping the gloves, how happy are you with where they are in terms of the way they play heavy physical games at times?
Yeah. No, it's been good for the most part. Yeah, you have games where it's not as good as it needs to be, but I just look at that Tampa game and the competitiveness we played with on a back-to-back night against a very good team, just the puck battles and the physicality that we needed to play with to get out of there were 2 points, blocking shots, it's all that type of stuff. But, guys were committed to doing it, and, I didn't like it in the Florida game. I didn't think we did it well enough, and that was the difference in the game for me. But, they responded and did it the next night.
Are they more physical at this part of the season, like from what you worked with at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily think so. I think, like I said, there's, I think we've been pretty consistent with our physicality all year, and it's not just taking the body on a guy. It's at being hard at your net front and boxing out. It's all that stuff, puck battles and blocking shots. So I think we've done a pretty good job of it for most of the year. Been pretty consistent.
Are you liking about, or why we decided to go with Yarncroke, Tavares, Nylander right now, put McMann down on that?
Well, last game, just with their lineup the way it was, I wanted to have that Domi line back together, and hopefully I was, with the matchups the way they went, I could, get them, provide a little offense there. And they had some opportunities in the first period and didn't capitalize on it. But, I've went back to that line numerous times this year. They do a good job off the rush, and, they've got speed. And Yarny's kind of a Swiss Army knife. He can kind of move around and work with different lines and do different things for us. So, I just tweak lines sometimes. That was the reason last game, though.
Where do you see Yarny's game?
You still have, a busy week of games here. How soon do you start prepping for the playoffs in the coaches' room in terms of opponents and looking at
Well, I think you look at things even now, you know, opponents that we could get, but we still don't know yet. But, you know, you're still always looking at stuff, and, you know, we have people looking at things too, you know, to prepare, make it, you know, so when we need it, it's ready to go.
Yarncroke's come back from a long way. What do you thought of his progress as getting back to what the guy he usually is?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I wasn't here last year or whatever, so I don't, you know, he's working extremely hard out there, and I think that he's doing a lot of good things that might go unnoticed to the viewer or to a lot of people, but he does a lot of little things right out there, night in and night out. I think he's still working to get his feet going under him, you know, like been out a long time. I think he gets going for a bit and then a little bit of a setback maybe, but he's working his way through it, and I think, you know, he's doing a good job, and but I do expect him to get to another level yet.
What went into the alignment you went with to start overtime in Tampa? Is maybe a bit of a different look with John and Austin out there.
Face off.
Just wanted to win the draw.
Yeah.
And then Austin change.
Yeah.
First, what went into that?
Matchups.
Just the matchup. Sometimes it's the simple answer.
Yeah, that's it. Face off and matchups. That's it. Pretty much. Yeah. JT was hot in the draw circle all night.
Okay.
You know, so I wanted to get that draw, and then wanted to see what they came with, and then I wanted to get the matchup that I wanted.